All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, Travis Hunter is not short on confidence, and really, you can't blame the young man because we know about his athletic ability, and because of that, in 4 days, Hunter is going to be a member of an NFL team, and he's going to hear his name called very early on in round one of Thursday's draft. Now, Hunter is entering the NFL with tremendous skill as he comes into the league not only as the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, but also as the Bolitnikov Award winner as the nation's top wide receiver in college football, as well as the Bednarik Award as the top defensive player as well. And then, with that said, Travis Hunter made a compelling case to win the Jim Thorpe Award as well as the nation's top corner. But nonetheless, or top defensive back rather. But nonetheless, at Colorado and previously before that at Jackson State, Hunter was as good as advertised. But in the current days, the way that the National Football League has been and has been for a while now, easily, 50 or 60 years or so, Hunter wants to play both sides of the ball. And this is something we have not seen consistently in a long period of time in the NFL. Again, it's the idea to a different era in the National Football League. You want like when guys played offense and defense for the entire game. Now, Hunter is skilled as a DB. He's skilled as a wide receiver. However, will there be a head coach and a general manager in the National Football League who will be open to letting Hunter play both sides of the football throughout the game? The kid, what's going on, my man? Happy Sunday to you. Saying what up, 300? Where do you think Hunter will most likely land? Hang on, I got my theories. So don't go nowhere. All right. But I'm gonna tell you like this, man. There's some teams out there that are definitely going to take Travis Hunter. There's a team out there who will definitely benefit from having Travis Hunter on their team. And I honestly, in my opinion, I think whoever takes him, I think is going to determine which side of the football that he plays more. Okay, that's just my personal opinion. But again, you cannot gloss over this man's talent. Okay, once in a while you see a guy come into the National Football League with this much talent. Travis Hunter checks all their boxes in my book. Okay, I look at him, I look at the talent. I just don't see a team that's going to sit back and say, "Hey, we're going to let you play the entire game on both offense and defense." You think about it, and this is no disrespect. The game is so much faster at the pro level in comparison to the collegiate level. I mean, listen, we've all seen guys at the high school level who played both sides of the football and were successful. More often than not, when they got to the college level, a coach made the decision for them and said, "Hey, instead of playing linebacker like you did in high school, you're going to be a running back." Or if a guy was a wide receiver and a DB, they made him play one side of the ball. Okay. I so with that said, I don't see a coach in the NFL that's going to sign up and say, "Hey, we're going to allow you to play the entire game on both sides of the football." But nonetheless, to your point, the kid Hunter just played in some cold weather the last couple of years in Boulder, and I hope that he liked it because you've got Cleveland at number two, you've got the Giants at number three, and you've got New England at number four. I think one of those places Travis Hunter will be calling home in the next couple of days. Right now, it seems like a far going conclusion that Tennessee is going to use the first overall pick on quarterback Cam Ward. I think Hunter falls into one of those three slots. I feel like it's a toss up for him and Abdul Carter. I feel like if Cleveland takes Carter at number two, very strong possibility that the Giants take Hunter at number three. Or if Hunter goes to Cleveland at number two, very good possibility that the Giants take Carter at three. The reason why I put New England into that equation because I won't believe it until I see it from the standpoint of the Giants not taking Shador Sanders at number three. Okay. There's a very good possibility they don't. There's a very good possibility they take the best player available, which at that point more than likely is going to be Travis Hunter, excuse me, or Abdul Carter. But just throwing it out there, what if the Giants pass on Travis Hunter and he's there for New England at number four? The Patriots are definitely going to scoop that kid up. Bryce Wilson, what's going on, man? Happy Sunday to you. You're saying Hunter seems like more of a DB to you at the next level. I'm looking at him and I feel like, in my opinion, I think he could be, I think he has better pro potential at a wide receiver, and I think you have packages for him on the defensive side of the ball as a nickel. Throwing it out there for an example, the Giants, because they're a team that's possibly linked to Travis Hunter. Let's say the Giants take Hunter third overall. You would have both him and Malik Neighbors, as well as Jalen Hyatt at wide receiver in New York. That would be a very interesting trio. Travis Hunter could also help the Giants on the defensive side of the football as a nickel corner. And I know that he didn't do a lot of it last year at Colorado, but I could definitely see him returning kicks or punts, in the NFL as well. The kid, you're saying playing both sides of the game, the whole game, you burn a lot of stamina. I could see it when you're young and just joining the NFL, but over time, you start to age. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why, you see it where, typically guys, the top tier guys, they do it and they do it at a high level in high school, but once they get to college, they got to pick a side. I mean, you think about Charles Woodson. Charles Woodson was Mr. Football for the state of Ohio coming out of high school before he went to Michigan. And, they had some packages here and there for him playing wide receiver. But, his bread was buttered as a shutdown corner. But when Woodson did come into the game as a wide receiver for Michigan in '97, we saw the impact. We saw the impact that he made on special teams as a punt returner as well. And that's what resulted in him winning the Heisman Trophy that year. With Travis Hunter, I think, in my opinion, Bryce, I understand. Listen, you're saying he's more of a DB. I think personally he would be better as a wide receiver. But again, I think it still comes down to whichever team is going to select him in the draft. But nonetheless, I do think there's going to be packages for him on the other side of the ball because, again, that talent is just too good to pass up on. But again, like you said, the kid, it wears on you because the game speed, the physicality, all of that stuff is totally different in the NFL in comparison to the college game. But nonetheless, I think Hunter is going to be the NFL's newest Swiss Army knife because, I think back and, if you guys out there are listening, and if you're old enough to remember this guy, I remember Slash in the 90s for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm talking about Cordell Stewart. And of course, Cordell had a solid career, for himself collegiately at Colorado, came into the NFL as a quarterback with the Steelers, didn't start right away, but his athletic ability was just too much for Bill Cowher to keep on the bench. So they had scenarios where Cordell was a quarterback, Cordell played running back, Cordell played wide receiver, Cordell, I think even at some point, possibly, punted. Okay. When you have a talent like that, you just want to get on the field, you're going to find ways to incorporate it. And of course, eventually Cordell Stewart did become the Steelers starting quarterback. I foresee a scenario like that with Travis Hunter because, again, the ability is just too much to pass on. And again, throwing this out there because they're a team that's linked to Travis Hunter, the New York Giants. Let's just say, sake of argument, the Giants do take Hunter at number three, and you got packages for him at wide receiver with both he and Malik Neighbors on the field. That would definitely give the Giants a different feel, at least for their offense. But at the end of the day, I think the future is very bright for Travis Hunter in the National Football League. And like I always say, it comes down to which team takes you. It comes down to which organization takes you and how they're able to develop your talent and what type of culture that they have going on there. You look at Cleveland. Cleveland has had a losing culture for the longest time. Okay, this is a possibility for Travis Hunter. You look at the New York Giants. The Giants have won, but they have not won in quite some time. They've really been down in their luck right now for more than a decade. So that's a possibility for Hunter walking into that locker room as well and dealing with the New York media. And then you have the New England Patriots at number four, a team that they are not they're not unfamiliar, okay, with success. We know about the successful run that the Patriots organization had with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, and they're looking to get that back, and you're looking to build. And they do have a young quarterback to work with in Drake May. Now you could possibly bring in some more excitement to this team, courtesy of Travis Hunter. So, like I said, it really is going to boil down to which organization takes him. When I see Travis Hunter and his ability on offense, it kind of reminds me of like a wide receiver version of Eric Metcalf. Okay. And if anybody's old enough to remember Eric Metcalf, there was a lot of different things that he was able to do in the NFL on offense and as well as special teams. But I think at the end of the day, Travis Hunter will be Mr. Excitement in the National Football League. I think he's going to bring excitement to whichever team selects him. I think it's going to help jersey sales, ticket sales. Between the Patriots and the Giants, for an example, two of the bigger market teams in the National Football League. He's going to be a media darling, especially in the New York area for the marketing ability there. But nonetheless, I truly do think that the future is bright for this young man. I can't say that he's about to become a millionaire. Why? Because, of course, with the NILs, in college football, that's changed things. So some of these top guys are already entering the league as millionaires. So I think it's just going to put more dollars in that young man's pocket. But nonetheless, I think the future is truly bright in the NFL for the reigning Heisman Trophy Award winner. But folks, that's going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into this 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. The kid, as always, I definitely appreciate you chiming in. You got that Yankee logo as your backdrop, and I wouldn't be me if I didn't ask you quickly about the Yankees and how do you feel about them winning the series this weekend down in Tampa at Steinbrenner Field against the Rays. And you're probably like me. It probably feels weird seeing the Yankees as the visitor on their own minor league home field. That's just my thoughts right there. Bryce, what's going on, my man? As always, happy Sunday to you. And I'll tell you like this, my man. It's going to be very interesting to see what the Detroit Lions do in round number one on Thursday night. The Lions, for the last couple of years, they flip things around and they're picking later, much later on in round one of the NFL draft. And that is a credit to Dan Campbell and how things have gotten turned around there. But nonetheless, the Lions have been drafting better under Dan Campbell. And I'm kind of interested to see what they do not only Thursday night, but also this weekend as a whole. And of course, since the draft is in Green Bay this weekend, it's going to be very interesting to see how the Lions are, are received there in the Lambeau area. But nonetheless, fine folks, if you like what you saw and heard on this podcast, please feel free to hit that like button as well as subscribing to this channel. Like I always say, it is greatly appreciated. Also, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, you can follow me at 300 pounds of sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. Kid, in regards to the Yankees, you're saying, yeah, they're looking good, but they always usually do good during the regular season. But once they hit the playoffs, they can never seal the deal, just like the New York Rangers. Ouch. Well, I'll tell you like this, just switching gears real quick. The American League as a whole is up for grabs. It's there for the taking. I think the Yankees, even with their defections and injuries, they're still the team to beat in the American League East. I said that coming in, and I think whoever makes the first and biggest move on the American League side, trade wise, is definitely going to be the favorite to win the pennant. As of right now, I'm putting my money on the Yankees. But in regards to the Rangers, definitely a disappointing season for the Blue Shirts, in my opinion. That's just saying. Also, if you're on IG, and I'm talking about Instagram, you can check me out at 300 pounds of sports knowledge. And like I always say, just like it is with the X, you follow me, I'll follow you right back. And you can check me out on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. And I'm not trying to sound biased, but I am here when I'm saying, hey, one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. The Kid, as always, appreciate you chiming in. You take care and have a good one. Bryce, I definitely want to hear from you come NFL draft this weekend. So, like I always say, if you're not on here, check me out on Instagram. I'm going to be doing some live feeds, live takes during the NFL draft this weekend. Like I said, you could check me out at 300 pounds of sports knowledge. I've got you covered for all of my insights on the draft. But once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off and I'm saying thanks once again for tuning into the 300 pounds of sports knowledge podcast here on YouTube. Be well, everybody.